All right, so you're thinking about becoming a railway car upholsterer, huh? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into how to absolutely ace that interview.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to break down those tricky questions using RoleCatcher's career and interview guides. Plus, we'll show you how their AI can help give you that extra edge.
Awesome. So before we get into all that, what does a railway car upholsterer actually do?
Well, imagine you're in this bustling manufacturing facility, right? You're surrounded by the sights and sounds of train cars being built. Your job, you're bringing those interiors to life. You're crafting those stylish and durable seats, paneling walls with intricate designs, and even creating those cozy overhead compartments. It's hands-on, it's detail-oriented, and yeah, your creations are going to be enjoyed by countless passengers.
Wow, talk about leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
But I'm also picturing a lot of heavy lifting, some noisy machinery. What's the work environment really like?
You got it. Definitely not a quiet office gig. You'll be on your feet a lot, working with like industrial grade sewing machines, power tools, maybe even CNC machines. So some dust, some noise. You got to be comfortable in a workshop setting.
CNC machines. That's not what I pictured. It sounds like technology plays a bigger role than people think.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us to the first interview question from Rollcatcher's Guide. It asks, can you explain the basics of upholstery and its importance in railway car manufacturing? Sounds simple enough, but there's a deeper layer here.
Okay, so what's the interviewer really trying to get at with this question?
More than just a textbook definition. They want to see if you can connect your craft to the bigger picture. Passenger safety, comfort, that overall quality of the train car. Think fire retardant materials, durability against wear and tear, even how your upholstery choices add to the train's aesthetic.
So it's about showing you understand the specific demands of this environment, right? What's a good way to answer this?
Start with a clear definition of upholstery, sure, but then tailor it specifically to railway cars. Mention the importance of those durable, easy to clean fabrics, the ones that can handle some heavy use. You could even talk about like specific materials, maybe vinyl or leather, and why they're a good choice.
Right. Knowing your materials is so important. What's a follow-up question they might ask to push a little further?
Hmm, maybe. What are some specific challenges you see when upholstering for train cars versus something like a car or a home? This is your chance to show you've thought about the unique parts of the job.
That's a good one. Really test your knowledge of the industry. Okay, bring on question number 2.
All right, this one's all about quality control. The guide asks, how do you ensure the quality of the upholstery work you produce? Classic, but always important.
Of course, every employer wants someone who takes pride in their work. What should our listener focus on to really impress them?
So instead of just saying, I pay attention to detail, actually walk them through your process. Talk about how you meticulously inspect every inch of fabric for flaws before you even cut, how you double check measurements for that perfect fit. Maybe even mention testing the seams for strength and durability.
Yeah, paint a picture of that meticulous approach. Show them you don't cut corners. What's a potential follow-up here?
How about, can you describe a time you found a flaw in your work and how you fixed it? Have a specific example ready.
Ah, the classic, tell me about a time you failed. But
Yeah,
it's all about how you learn from mistakes. Okay, question number 3.
it is. How do you manage your time to complete upholstery work within a given deadline? Super important when a whole train car is waiting on your craftsmanship.
Deadlines, the heartbeat of any manufacturing environment. How can our listeners showcase those time management skills and stand out?
I think talk about the tools and techniques you use to stay organized. Maybe you break down big projects into smaller tasks, or you use project management software. Maybe even good old-fashioned to-do lists.
It's not just about saying you're good with deadlines. It's about proving it with your systems, right?
Exactly. And be ready to discuss what happens when things go wrong, because delays happen. They want to see that you can handle pressure and still deliver.
Speaking of pressure, what's a follow-up that might test that adaptability?
Something like, describe a situation where you had to adjust your workflow because of a deadline change. What did you do? What was the outcome?
Oh, that gets right to the point. Showing that you can think on your feet and prioritize. Okay, what's next?
All right, this one's about continuous learning. How do you stay up to date on the latest upholstery trends and techniques? It's where you show your passion.
Because things are always changing, right? New materials, technologies, the upholstery world never stands still.
You got it. Mention those industry publications you read, workshops, online courses you've taken, maybe even professional organizations or forums you're part of.
It's about showing that you're not just content with where you are, that you're always learning and growing. What's a follow-up question that tests that engagement?
Oh, how about this? What's a recent development or trend in upholstery, specifically related to railway cars, that you found interesting, and why? Doing your research pays off.
Nice. It's all about showing you're keeping up with the industry. Okay, question 5. Hit me.
It's about problem solving. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot an issue with an upholstery project? Things go wrong, they want to know you can handle it.
Yep. Every project has its challenges. How should a listener approach this kind of question?
Don't just focus on the problem itself. Walk them through your thinking, How did you figure out the root cause? What steps did you take to fix it? And this is key, what did you learn from it?
It's like telling a story, but a problem-solving story. What's a follow-up that digs deeper?
Looking back, is there anything you'd have done differently? Shows self-awareness and a commitment to improving.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not just about fixing it. It's about analyzing your work and getting better. All right, question 6.
You're ready. It's about teamwork. Can you describe a time you collaborated with other professionals to complete an upholstery project? Trains are complex, so collaboration is essential.
Teamwork makes the dream work right. But how can our listener highlight their teamwork skills?
Don't just say you work well with others. Pick a specific project, one where teamwork was crucial, maybe a large project with a tight deadline or a really intricate design.
So paint the picture of that situation. And how do you showcase your role in the team?
Highlight your specific contributions, how you communicated with your colleagues, how you handled any disagreements, and ultimately, how you helped the team succeed. You want to show them you're valuable.
Because no one wants a lone wolf on a project like this. What's a follow-up question about this team experience?
Maybe, what was the biggest challenge you faced working on that project as a team, and how did you overcome it?
Problem solving in a team setting. Perfect. It's about working effectively towards that shared goal, even with obstacles. Okay, what's next?
All right. This one focuses on organization. How do you ensure you have the necessary materials and tools to complete an upholstery project? Sounds basic, but crucial for efficiency.
You can't do the job without the right stuff. How can our listener highlight those organizational skills?
Think about how you approach each project. Do you create those detailed materials lists? Do you double-check inventory levels? Got a system for labeling and storing your tools?
It's showing that meticulous planning and preparation, no last-minute scrambles.
Exactly. You can even mention any tech you use, spreadsheet software or inventory apps.
Tech-savvy upholsterer. What's a follow-up that really tests those organizational skills?
Imagine they say, okay, you're starting a new train car upholstery project. Walk me through how you'd make sure you have all the resources you need. Your time to shine.
I like it. Puts you in control and lets you showcase that system for success. All right, question number 8.
Ready for a leadership question? It is. Can you describe a time when you had to train or mentor a junior upholsterer? They want to see if you can share your expertise.
Mentorship. It's a sign that you're skilled and willing to help others grow. What if our listener hasn't had a formal mentorship role, though?
Even without a formal title, think about times when you've, helped a colleague or shared what you know or guided someone through a new task. Those small leadership moments count.
So those times you naturally stepped into a teaching role. What are some examples they could give that show they're a good mentor?
Think about how you taught. Did you demonstrate a specific skill? Did you give clear, constructive feedback? Maybe you created helpful guides or checklists. It's about communicating well and empowering others.
That's really helpful. What's a follow-up question they might ask about these teaching moments?
Maybe something like, how do you change your teaching style to fit different learning styles or experience levels? It shows that you're thoughtful.
It's not just about sharing info. It's about making sure it's actually understood. Okay, question 9. What do we have?
All right, this one's super important. How do you ensure your work complies with safety regulations and guidelines? Safety is crucial everywhere, especially when it comes to trains.
Absolutely. No cutting corners when it comes to safety. What are some key things to remember for this question?
You want to start by showing your knowledge of the specific safety protocols for the railway industry. Mention any certifications or training you have, but go beyond just knowing the rules. Describe how you actually put them into practice every day.
So it's not just about knowing, it's about living it.
Yeah, you got it. Give them concrete examples, like how you double-check your equipment before using it, or how you keep your workspace clean and organized to prevent accidents. Maybe even talk about how you proactively spot and report potential hazards.
It's about showing them you're a champion for safety. What's a follow-up that explores this safety mindset even further?
Okay, how about tell me about a time you spotted a potential safety hazard on a project and what you did about it. That shows your proactive approach.
Great question. It highlights that you're willing to go above and beyond. Okay, we've reached our final question. What's number 10?
This one's about experience. Can you describe a time when you worked on a high-profile upholstery project? They want to know if you can handle the pressure of a big project.
Because not all projects are created equal. What kind of projects would be considered high profile in this industry?
Think about those projects that have more visibility, complexity, maybe importance. It could be a VIP train car, or a historical restoration, or even a brand new train model. It's about choosing a project that was more demanding than your average day-to-day work.
So it's about how you thrived under pressure and got amazing results.
Exactly. Talk about the challenges you faced, the decisions you made, how you ensured success. Did you have a large team, tight deadlines, new techniques, or unusual materials?
It's about rising to the occasion, showing them you can handle it. What's a follow-up that digs deeper into this high-profile experience?
Maybe they'll ask, what was the most valuable lesson you learned from working on that high-profile project? It ends on a reflectful note and shows your capacity for growth.
Fantastic. We've covered so much today, really getting into the nitty-gritty of those interview questions, but our journey's not over yet. In the next part, we're going to shift gears and explore some broader career insights for aspiring railway car upholsterers. So stay tuned.
All right, welcome back. We just went through those 10 tough interview questions. Hopefully you're feeling more confident about that hot seat. But let's step back for a second. Let's look at the big picture. Your career, as a railway car upholsterer.
Yeah, landing the job is just the beginning, right? What are some of the paths this career can take you down? What does RoleCatcher's career guide say about, advancement?
It's interesting. There's so many different directions you can go in. You could move into a leadership role, supervising other upholsterers, making sure those projects are running smoothly. Or maybe you specialize, become the expert in something specific, like historical restorations or those high-tech seating systems.
So it's not a one-track career. There's room to grow and kind of find your niche. I like that. But this industry is always moving forward. How important is it to, keep learning, keep up with things?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial. I mean, think about it. New materials are being developed all the time, like those super durable, eco-friendly fabrics. And then technology is changing how the work is done with CAD software and laser cutters becoming more and more common. You got to be a lifelong learner to stay on top of your game.
Right. It's not just about the skills you have now, but being ready for what's next.
Yeah.
What are some ways that our listeners can, actively pursue continuous learning in this field?
Well, RoleCatcher. RoleCatcher has some really good suggestions. Attending those industry workshops and conferences, that's a great way to connect with other professionals and learn about those trends we were talking about. Onless courses are great too, super flexible way to learn new skills. And don't underestimate the value of just reading those industry publications. Staying informed goes a long way.
It's like getting a front row seat to how railway upholstery is evolving. Speaking of staying ahead, let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can give our listeners a leg up. Not just for this interview, but for their whole career.
I like to think of RoleCatcher's AI as your personalized career coach. It's like having a whole team of experts right in your pocket, always ready to help you, tailor your skills and how you present yourself to those opportunities that come up.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. How does it work exactly?
So let's say you're applying for a job and they want someone with experience in CAD software. RoleCatcher can look at your resume and highlight those keywords, those important skills. It helps you, really sell yourself, show off that expertise. Or maybe you're practicing for those behavioral interview questions, the tell me about a time ones. RoleCatcher can give you feedback on your answers, help you make those responses stronger, more impactful.
Wow. Like a secret weapon for your career. But let's bring it back to this specific interview. How can RoleCatcher help our listener prepare for those railway car upholsterer questions that we just went over?
This is where it gets really exciting. RoleCatcher has a huge library of sample interview questions for all sorts of different roles. You can practice your answers, record yourself on video, and even get feedback from the AI on your delivery and your content. It's like having a mock interview with a super smart coach.
So it's not just generic advice, it's tailored to the job you want. That's incredible. Okay, before we move on, let's have a little fun. I want to see our listeners get creative.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Tell me more.
All right, so imagine you've landed the job, you've got all the skills, and now you have total freedom to design a train car interior. What kind of experience are you creating for those passengers?
That's such a great question. It really makes you think beyond just the typical
Dude,
train car.
would you go for like luxurious comfort, plush seats, ambient lighting, or maybe sleek and modern with all the latest tech? What would you do to make it stand out? What kind of materials?
I bet our listeners have some amazing ideas brewing right now.
Yes. Share those train car design dreams with us on social media using hashtag #TrainUpholsteryDreams. We can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into railway car upholstery. I'm already seeing some awesome designs popping up on social media with hashtag #TrainUpholsteryDreams. Seriously, some really creative stuff out there.
I know, right? It's so cool to see the passion and the talent. But before we wrap up, let's go over the key takeaways from our journey with RoleCatcher.
Right, let's give our listeners a little cheat sheet to help them succeed. What are the top 3 things they should remember when they walk into that interview?
Okay, well, first and foremost, preparation is key. Knowing the job, inside and out, researching the company, understanding the trends in the railway industry, it shows them you're serious.
It's about showing that genuine interest and that you've done your homework. All right, number 2.
Okay, so you got to highlight your skills and experience, but in a way that connects to what they're looking for in the role. Don't just list off what you've done. Tailor your answers. Show them how your expertise fits their specific needs. Remember those examples we talked about? That's what makes you stand out.
It's all about showing the value you bring. Okay, last piece of advice for our aspiring railway car upholsterers.
Don't forget about technology. Those AI tools from RoleCatcher, they can really help you out, get personalized feedback and really refine your answers.
It's like having a secret weapon for your interview. Or, even better, a coach right in your pocket. And speaking of support, we're rooting for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We know you're going to do great. You've got the skills, you've got the passion, and now you've got the knowledge. Good luck on your journey as a railway car upholsterer.
And that's a wrap on our Railway Car Upholstery Deep Dive. We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little bit fun.
And remember, no matter where you end up in your career, never stop learning and growing and chasing those passions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep diving deep.